Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. And you know when you're playing games sometimes, especially computer games, you get really attached to some characters. And then you're shocked when they get killed off during the game. Sorry, spoiler for Final Fantasy VII. If you haven't played it by now, then not really sure where you've been over the last, 20 years or so. Yeah. And so it is with great pleasure that today's deck is really Aerith Gainsborough. Had to cover her at some stage because it was like, I really enjoyed Final Fantasy VII, and I was quite sad when Sephy stuck his sword through her back and killed her off, and that was quite sad for me. Bit weird, I know, getting upset about a computer game character dying, but it's still there, But anyway, we'll talk about Aerith from a Magic point of view today. 2 and a white for a 2/2 human cleric. Has lifelink, and whenever you gain life, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on her. But when Aerith dies, put X +1/+1 counters on each legendary creature you control, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Aerith. So, we have a new Magic commander who cares about mono white legends, who chucks around +1/+1 counters and you need to gain some life. Yeah, if this doesn't sound like one of the decks I like playing on MTG, I don't think anything does. So here we go. Here's what's my take on my, Aerith really does look like. Here we go. Hope you enjoy it. So, in the beginning, we have one Planeswalker, we have Ajani Steadfast to chuck around some +1/+1 counters, or put a whole load of +1/+1 counters on something. But it might be you want to give one of our creatures first strike, vigilance, and lifelink for a turn, which isn't the worst thing in the world. But the -2 to chuck around +1/+1 counters, especially if we have Aerith in play, is really nice. From there, we have the creatures, and they are all legendary white creatures. I'm going to start you there. So Ismaro, Hound of Condors in. Then we have Kytho, Hero of Acronis, which, as you may or not know, turns into Gideon Battleforged to help us do some fun stuff. But, it's a 2/1. We can transform, give it indestructibility, and then transform if we need to. Because everything is legendary, and most of the permanents are legendary, Yoshimaru, the Ever Faithful, is a no-brainer in this deck. Ambrosia Whiteheart makes an appearance from the Final Fantasy main set as well, just to bounce something, do a little bit of landfall triggers. And Offenza, Kintree Spirit, to chuck around those +1/+1 counters and bolstering things. Daxos, Blessed by the Sun. You have this in play. Cast Aerith, you gain a life. Oh look, Aerith gets bigger. Nice. Philia, Exuberant Shepherd, makes an appearance in Modern Horizons 3. Exile one other target non-land permanent. And at the beginning of your next end step, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. If it entered under your control, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on Philia. Urdan Dromoka Warrior comes in from the Battle Bond set, the Foundations one, if I remember correctly. When it enters per +1/+1 counter somewhere, then whenever you attack target attacking creature with a +1/+1 counter on it, gains first strike. If that creature has 2 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it gains double strike. From there, Adeline Resplendent Cathar comes in, has a nice big power bump, I hope, and you get all those nice 1/1 human creatures when you attack. So really does pump her power up quite quickly. And Offenza, the Unyielding Lineage is in as well. Just do the Endure 2 bits. So everything does get destroyed, you get to have all your spirit tokens. Brimaz, King of Olsocus, I don't know, whatever. It attacks, you get some White Soldier, Cat Soldier tokens. And when it blocks, you get some Cat Soldier tokens as well. That's fine. Gatu and Luz comes in from the Commander set from Final Fantasy. When it enters, choose target creature you control. If damage would be dealt to that creature this turn, prevent that damage and put that many +1/+1 counters on it. This combos so well with Aerith, it's ridiculous. Attack with Aerith, you've got 3 mana up. They, maybe Aerith's a 3/3/4/4. They block it with a 5/5. You flash this in. You put 5 more counters on Aerith. And then if they try and kill Aerith off, you're going to have a whole big board of legendary creatures because of Aerith's second ability. Love it. Linden, the Steadfast Queen. Whenever a white creature you control attacks, you gain a life. Thanks. Lauren of the Third Path had to be here as well, just to take out those annoying artifacts and enchantments, make a friend, draw some cards. Paladin Dance, Steel Maverick comes in from Fallout as well. Vigilance and Lifelink. Then you can exile it to give all your humans and artifacts creatures. Each creature you control as an artifact or human gains indestructible. We've got quite a few humans, so it does kind of work out most of the time. The Gaffer comes in from Lord of the Rings as well. Gain 3 or more life each time we get to draw a card. Venat, Heart of Heidelin, comes in from Final Fantasy as well. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, not difficult, draw a card, triggers once a turn. Pay 7, exile it and transform them. And they transform into Hayden, the Mother Crystal, indestructible. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature you control. Until your next turn, it gains indestructible. If that creature is legendary, draw a card. Yeah, not hard to get extra card draw, is it? From there, Bard, the Steward of Algarve, is in just to slow down people attacking us. Biza, the Bounding Spring, makes an appearance to help us out with either treasure or life or fish if we need it, or card draw. Cho Mano, the Revolutionary, prevent all combat damage will be dealt to them. So it's a nice target for the +1/+1 counters, I have to say. Gandalf, the White Rider, comes in from Lord of the Rings as well. Whenever you cast a spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 until the end turn you get to scry. And when this dies, put it from top of your library, 5th from the top. Yeah, haven't seen Gandalf the White Rider in any of my decks for a while, so making an appearance today is quite nice. Mangala, the Diplomat, for the whole lifelink card draw, you know what it does. And then we've got Odric, Master Tactician, get to choose which way things block if you attack with at least 3 other creatures. Yeah, that's fine. Sardok, Master of Buckland, also makes an appearance. Power of creatures with power of 2 or less enter, you get a 1/1 halfling. We've got a few with power of 2 or less, so yeah, we'll get a few halflings every so often. And then you can tap 2 to give Sardok +2/+0 and lifelink until the end of turn. Not the worst plan in the world for 4 mana 2/2. Tyrion, Champion of Freedom, makes an appearance. As long as we attack this turn, we get a soldier token. Celeste, the Living Saint from 40k, comes in as well, flying and lifelink. And at the beginning of your end step, return target creature card with mana value X or less to the battlefield, where X is the amount of life we gain this turn. Like this. Lovely. Love Celestine. Fantastic. Haven't got one because I don't have a Sisters of Battle army, but still, great card in Magic. From there, Gandalf the Wife makes an appearance, so we can cast our legendary spells and artifacts so they had flash and get double triggers off them. Garar Tyr comes in for Final Fantasy as well, has reach, and whenever 1 or more other creatures or artifacts we control die, draw a card once a turn, but it's still more card draw. Grain, the Greatest of the Eagles from Lord of the Rings, also makes an appearance to give a target attacking creature another target attacking creature flying, because this has to attack to trigger it. And then at the beginning of each end step, we gain 3 or more life, we get a bird that does the same thing, so it brings a flock of eagles with him, basically. Minwu, the White Mage from Final Fantasy. Vigilance and Lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on each cleric you control. Yeah. Hey, guess what? Aerith is a cleric. The Wandering Rescuer comes in as well from Duskmourn. Flash, Convoke, Double Strike. Other tap creatures you control have hexproof, so that gives Aerith a little bit of protection when you attack. Regina the Redeemed, as long as we've gained life this turn, we get a couple of warrior tokens, and it's a 4/4 flying for 6. And then 2 big things to finish it off with. Avacynth's Angel of Hope, get this into play, gives everything indestructible. And then Raya the Dawnbringer. If we get this into play, we're returning cards from our graveyard to the battlefield at the beginning of our upkeep each turn. Love it. Sorceries, just a 2. Fumigate to give us a little bit of extra life, and yes, I know that might mean put our creatures at risk, but this one doesn't, because most of all our creatures are legendary. Urza's Ruinous Blast will take out everything else for us, which I love. Achroma's Will is here. While I'm playing white, I had to have an Alpha Strike card. It's here. And then the artifacts. Mox Amber, bit of a no-brainer because we are playing a legendary creature deck, so we're always going to be able to tap this for white mana, I hope. Elixir of Immortality to shuffle everything back in when it goes wrong. Sovereign, Arcane Signet, Marble Diamond, Pearl Medallion, Thought Vessel, and Pristine Talisman, doubling up as extra life gain, give us some ramp. And then we've got the Spear of Heliod as well to pump all our creatures up. The One Ring is the game changer I have in the deck because I wanted some way of drawing extra cards, and with the life gaining, I'm not overly worried about having a whole load of birding cards on the One Ring. But I'm trying it out, and we've put the Wind Crystal in from Final Fantasy. Now, I quite like all 5 of the crystals in Commander. Basically, they're the medallions, from my point of view, with a couple of extra mana bolted on for an extra couple of abilities, which isn't the end of the world. One thing I will point out, which I don't think I've seen talked about yet, and like I said, I'm probably talking to the converted here. Turn 2, Pearl Medallion. Turn 3, Wind Crystal. Because this is white, and therefore the Pearl Medallion will cut the cost down. Now, I'm sure everybody knows this already, but I think it's worth pointing out occasionally, because I think people forget about it. 6 mana to tap everything, given flying and lifelink isn't the end of the world either, to be perfectly honest with this deck. From there, Well of Lost Dreams. We gain life, pay X, where X is less than or equal to amount of life we gain to draw those cards. Almoret's Archive just gives a way of doubling up on our life gain, and if we're doing card draw tricks, we might as well get an extra couple. And then we are playing mono, so the Throne of Eldraine is in. Again, my usual ruling is if I'm playing a mono deck, the Throne goes in, or I'm playing close to a mono deck, the Throne goes in. Enchantments are all here to help us gain life, so Ajani's Welcome for creatures we control to gain a life. Authority of Consuls to stop everybody else's creatures and gain life when they come in, which makes Aerith even bigger. Cleric class just gives that extra life gain, and then if we can get to the level 2 quickly, we can put the +1/+1 counters on creatures we control when we gain the life. The Flowering of the White Tree is exceptional in this deck. All our creatures are legendary, so we're all going to get +2/+1, apart from the tokens we generate, I realise that. And then they all have Ward 1. Even the token creatures, the few that we generate, get +1/+1 with the Flowering of the White Tree out. Love it. Love, love, love this card. Griffin Airy, because we hopefully gaining 3 or more life each turn, so we get the Griffins. Abiding Grace just kicks off that life gain each turn for us if we've got Aerith in play by getting it up to 1, and also returning maybe some of our doggos that have been killed off. Path of Bravery. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control attack, gain life equal to the number of attacking creatures. Hopefully that means our life total will stay above 40 a lot of the time, so they all get pumped up for +1/+1. Angelic Accord gives us an angel if we gain 4 more life in our end step. And then Commander's Insignia. Creatures you control get +1/+1 for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. Now, play this and you've got Aerith out, that means they're getting +1/+1. Aerith gets killed off, comes back again, you cast it twice, they get +2/+2, so on and so forth. Yeah, I mean, Aerith does get expensive, you know. By the 4th time you've had to cast her, you're looking at, what, 11 mana? Not great, but hey, if you get her out again, pumping up all your creatures by that many is going to be silly. Slightly more useful is Day of Destiny. All our legendary creatures get +2/+2. And then we also have something else you don't see very often from Duskmourn, Leyline of Hope. If it starts in your opening hand, you can start with on the battlefield. You gain life, you gain that much life +1. And as long as we have 7 or more, so if we're at 47 plus life in a commander game, all our creatures get +2/+2. Yeah, that's fine by me. The final enchantment, Sigarda's Splendor. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card of your life total that's greater than or equal to the last life total noted, and then note the life total again. And then whenever we cast a white spell, we gain a life. Yeah, very easy to build. Lands, there's 34, maybe a little bit light, but we're playing mono, so it shouldn't be too bad. We've got Adventurers in, just to give us another way of gaining life, which I thought was quite cute with Aerith. The Command Beacon, don't know why it's come up with that version. I haven't checked the printings as usual, so I'm sure someone's going to tell me off. There we go. That won't do. Just while I'm doing about it, because I know what to do now. Thank you to Luxie. Command Beacons in, so we can just bring Aerith back to our hand if we need to. Ijano keeps some of our legendary creatures alive by preventing 2 damage. Emeria brings them back because we've got enough planes to do it. Then we have Evolving Wilds, Fabled Passage to search things out. Miko for a bit of card draw. Minas Tirith for some even more card draw. Monumental Henge. Enters, should enter untapped most of the time. 4 mana to find a historic card. Don't forget, artifacts, legendaries, and sagas are historic. So all of our artifacts and all of our legendary creatures are things we can go and pick one off with a bit of luck most of the time. Unusually for me, the Maganda Raceway's in. I don't think it's going to be that hard in this deck to hit max speed. So having this in play just to give maybe a little mana boost isn't the worst plan in the world. Myriad Landscape for the extra, go and find 2 planes. Nykthos because we're playing mono. Obscura Storefront to go and find a planes. Path of Ancestry. 16 planes. Reliquary Tower. Temple of the False God. Terramorphic Expanse. And again, unusually for me, playing one of the hideaway lands in Windbrisk Heights in this deck just for a bit of a change. And that's it. That is my take on Aerith Gainsborough. Yeah, I think I've paid enough tribute to her. I think it's great fun. I love having a mono white deck that cares about legends, and having it mixed in with life gain for a change is really nice. But if you think there's anything I've missed out, let me know in the comments down below. I do try and read them all, and I do read them all, and I try to respond to them all when I get the time. Please hit the subscribe button if you can. Come and follow me on Twitch if you want to see me play that. There's a link to Twitch down below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, even better. And yeah, I'll be back next week with some more legends from Final Fantasy that I've turned into Commander decks. So for now, thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.